But ball never been a problem for me. It's, whatever optics or whatever everybody makes up after, outside the game. But in the game, y'all kind of know who I am.
When a veteran NFL coach like Herm Edwards calls a rookie quarterback's first preseason game pretty impressive, you know something special just happened. And that's exactly what went down last Friday night in Charlotte. Shedeur Sanders, a name barely on the radar just days before, stepped onto the field and flipped the script on Cleveland's quarterback situation. The kid, buried deep on the depth chart, labeled QB4 behind some bigger names, didn't just play. He made believers out of critics, stunned analysts, and sent Coach Prime into a social media frenzy. But here's the twist nobody's talking about yet. This performance wasn't just a flash in the pan. It might be the moment that changes everything for the Browns.
I know I'm ready for the moment. Did I play up to par? No, I don't feel like I did. But overall, the main goal was to win. And that's honestly what we...
Just days before that game, Shedeur Sanders was barely on anyone's radar in Cleveland. Listed as the fourth-string quarterback, he was behind Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Joe Flacco. Some analysts even questioned whether he'd make the team at all. Being a fifth-round pick came with low expectations, and many saw him as a long shot to stick around. Injuries to Pickett and Gabriel suddenly changed the landscape, giving Sanders an unexpected opportunity to step into the spotlight. When the Browns needed someone to take the snaps, Sanders answered the call without hesitation. What makes this rise so intriguing is how quickly it happened. From quiet camp battles and rehab on a sore shoulder, Sanders found himself under the bright lights of a nationally televised preseason game. This wasn't just another backup taking practice reps. It was a moment to prove he belonged. And with every throw, every decision, he was rewriting the narrative.
Kevin Stefanski said he was pleased with the way Shedeur Sanders operated the offense, and that was really all he was looking for. The plan was to get Shedeur Sanders.
The kid that many wrote off was no longer the afterthought. He was the showstopper, making a case for himself as more than just a hopeful prospect. This shift from overlooked QB4 to the main attraction set the stage for a quarterback battle that Cleveland fans didn't see coming. Friday night against the Panthers was more than just a preseason game for Shedeur Sanders. It was a statement. From the very first drive, Sanders commanded the offense with a confidence that caught everyone off guard. Completing 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns in just the first half, he quickly became the star of the show. The Browns dominated 30-10, but it was Sanders' performance that truly set the tone.
Sanders about 50 plays out there. He was out there for 45, got a little less than 3/4 of action. We saw him throw those 2 touchdown passes, and as Coach Stefanski said, he just wanted him to get a ton of reps today.
What stood out wasn't just the stats, it was how he managed the game. Instead of playing safe, Sanders made bold decisions, threading the ball into tight windows and showing a calmness that usually takes years to develop. The kind of poise he displayed kept defenses guessing and energized his teammates. In an instant, the kid who started the night as a backup was now stealing the spotlight in front of a national audience. This wasn't a fluke. It was the kind of performance that forces coaches, fans, and analysts to take a second look. Suddenly, the quarterback conversation in Cleveland shifted overnight, and everyone wanted to know, who exactly is this rookie making waves? Herm Edwards isn't a man to hand out compliments lightly, especially when it comes to rookie quarterbacks. So when he broke down Sanders' performance, people listened closely. What caught Edwards' attention wasn't just the touchdowns or the yardage, it was Sanders' poise under pressure. Several times during the game, Sanders was forced out of the pocket by rushing defenders. Most rookies would panic in those moments, but Sanders did the exact opposite. He kept his cool, bought time by moving outside the pocket, squared his shoulders, and delivered throws with veteran precision. Edwards highlighted how Sanders consistently made smart decisions. avoiding the rookie mistakes that often derail young quarterbacks. The accuracy Sanders showed, especially in tight windows in the red zone, was a sign of a quarterback who understands the game at a deeper level. This wasn't just talent, it was preparation and instinct coming together at the right time. For Edwards, this performance was more than pretty impressive. It was a glimpse of a player who might have what it takes to lead at the highest level. And for a Browns team that's been desperate for stability at quarterback, that kind of performance is exactly the spark they've been waiting for. Going into training camp, questions swirled around Sanders' durability. Reports surfaced that he was dealing with arm soreness and was even held out of some team drills because of shoulder issues. Critics started whispering, was this kid injury-prone? Could he handle the brutal grind of the NFL? But Friday night put those doubts to rest. Sanders played with zero hesitation, showing no signs of physical limitations. Every throw, every movement was sharp and deliberate. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach, made it clear that the goal was to get Sanders meaningful reps, about 50 plays, to assess what they really had in their fifth-round pick. Sanders logged 45 plays, threw 2 touchdown passes, and most importantly, operated the offense confidently. Stefanski's praise wasn't just about the stats, it was about leadership and command of the game plan. Sanders himself was humble, calling his performance subpar. But that mindset of self-critique is what separates good players from great ones. Despite the pressure, he stayed focused and showed a maturity beyond his years. For a Browns team long haunted by quarterback drama, this steady presence was exactly what they needed to see. 2 moments from that game captured exactly why Shedeur Sanders is suddenly the talk of Cleveland. The first touchdown was a perfectly placed throw early in the first quarter, showcasing the arm talent that made him a standout at Colorado. It wasn't just about power, it was about precision and timing, hitting his receiver in stride and putting the defense on notice. But it was the second touchdown that really turned heads. Under heavy pressure late in the first half, Sanders threw into a tight window with the kind of touch and accuracy that can't be taught. That throw wasn't just about talent. It was about nerves of steel and an unshakable confidence. It was the kind of play that makes coaches sit up and say, "This kid's got something special." And then there's Coach Prime himself, Dion Sanders, who took to social media in a way we haven't seen in a while. His reaction was electric, posting highlight after highlight and celebrating every completion like it was a championship moment. This was more than just a proud dad. It was a validation of everything he's believed about his son's potential. These moments didn't just score points, they shifted the narrative. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just playing football, he was announcing his arrival. What's striking about Shedeur Sanders is how tough he is on himself. After a game that had fans and analysts buzzing, he didn't call it a breakthrough or a standout night. Instead, he described his performance as subpar. That kind of honesty is rare, especially in a rookie navigating the intense spotlight of an NFL preseason game. It reveals a player who's not just satisfied with good enough, he's hungry for greatness. This mindset is what sets leaders apart. Sanders isn't content with just completing passes or throwing touchdowns. He wants to master every aspect of the game. It's the mentality of someone who understands that success isn't about one performance. It's about consistency, growth, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. His self-critique also speaks volumes about his maturity. While the media celebrates his every throw, Sanders is already looking ahead, focusing on what he can improve. For a franchise like the Browns, craving stability at quarterback, this relentless drive could be exactly what's missing. If Friday night was a glimpse of his potential, then his honest assessment is a promise. He's just getting started. The quarterback competition in Cleveland just got a lot more interesting. Heading into the preseason game, Sanders was deep on the depth chart, behind Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Tyler Huntley. But injuries to Pickett and Gabriel, combined with Huntley still getting up to speed, suddenly put Sanders in the spotlight. What he showed on the field wasn't just promise. It was a challenge to the status quo. Veteran Joe Flacco, who has been the steady presence on the with joint practices against the Eagles coming up and key players still sidelined, the Browns might be ready to see Sanders take even more reps with the first and second team offense. The quarterback competition in Cleveland could be heating up faster than anyone predicted. It's important to remember, this was just one preseason game. One strong performance doesn't guarantee a starting job or a long NFL career. But what Sanders showed went beyond stats. His poise, confidence, and leadership stood out in a way that's rare for rookies stepping onto the field for the first time. He talked about feeling like he was playing with family, going to war with every teammate on that field. That mindset, putting the team above himself, is the kind of leadership that franchises build around. The Browns haven't had a stable quarterback in years, bouncing from one uncertain option to another. Sanders' presence gave a glimpse of something different, someone who could bring that long-sought stability. This performance sparked hope that maybe, just maybe, the Browns have found a quarterback they can trust. But the real test is still ahead. Can Sanders keep this up when the stakes are higher and the competition tougher? Fans and coaches alike will be watching closely as the season approaches. So is this the start of something special in Cleveland? Are we witnessing the emergence of a franchise quarterback? Or was Friday night just a rookie shining against second and third string defenders? The truth is, only time will tell. But one thing's clear. Herm Edwards' rare praise for a fifth-round rookie says a lot about the potential on display. The Browns have been searching for stability at quarterback for years, cycling through names without finding the right fit. Sanders' performance offered a fresh hope, a reminder that sometimes unexpected players can change the narrative. His confidence, decision-making, and leadership didn't just impress fans, they rattled the status quo. Now, the spotlight turns to the upcoming practices and games. Can Sanders build on this momentum? Will he force the Browns to rethink their depth chart? These questions are what make football so compelling. Watching a player rise, fall, or redefine expectations. Before you go, think about this. Sometimes the biggest stories start quietly, with just one game, one play, or one moment. And when that moment comes, it can change everything. Keep your eyes on Shedeur Sanders. This might just be the beginning